And we're now moving on to the UK with Martin from Channel 4.
Thank you, Christian. Hello, everybody. I'm Martin. I'm from Channel 4. I head up the advertising research and development team over at Channel 4. I suppose I've been looking at audiences for 22 years. I'm here predominantly in my Channel 4 role, but I will also point out that I'm a member of the BARB Management Board, which is the TAM in the UK. So from this will be more of a Channel 4 perspective of how we've used data. I suppose the title of this presentation being The Uneven Future of Broadcast Measurement is more than a suggestion that the future is very much unknown. We're moving into uncharted territory here, and that is very true, that it's very uneven as well of how we approach things. But I think we'll find from both our tour so far of France, Germany, and the Netherlands, we all have very similar approaches. So, who are Channel 4? For those of you in the room that don't know who Channel 4 are, we're quite a unique broadcaster. We are not for profit. We are commercially funded, publicly owned. Doesn't cost the taxpayer a penny, but a public service broadcaster in the UK. Been operating since 1982 with a broadcast remit to deliver something creatively different to the current landscape there in our approach. And it also means that we have a slightly different approach when it comes to things like data and how do we actually engage with our viewers in the world that we're now in. So we were the first broadcaster in the world to launch a VOD service, and that was a VOD catch-up service, and that was over 10 years ago. It's now available on 26 platforms, and it represents an estimated 5% of our total viewing. So whilst everything appears to be becoming video, whilst everything actually appears to be becoming video, we're in this world where there's a tech revolution going on, and to maintain our position, measurement is at the heart of what we do. In every year of the last 30 years, actually, in the UK, TV has maintained its share of ad spend, which is tantamount to the power of TV in both the UK and other markets. And we've hit the milestone over in the last year of over £5 billion of revenue, so there's a lot at stake here. But disruption is clearly there. We have different screens, we have different screen qualities, have all been improving, more content choice, more distribution platforms, and new ways of monetizing all of this. So with that much money at stake, it's critical to how we then approach the future. So BARB, like the other TAMs we've heard from, is a joint industry currency. It's owned by the industry, and the important bit here is, again, it's a not-for-profit organization. So as a JIC, it provides something to the industry that is of high value, but great cost effectiveness. Project Dovetail kicked off as a BARB project a number of years ago, and we're starting to publish the first TV data and online viewing of that, of content. That's in beta form at the moment, and we're heading for a world which is very much like the Dutch world, where overnight data will be available early next year. So in the Netherlands, they appear to be slightly ahead, and we're playing a similar game. We have slightly different styles, and pretty much like football, most people are better than England at this to start with, but we always come good in the end. With this approach, Channel 4 and how we have taken measurement, we haven't sat around and waited for the TAM to deliver exactly what we need. We've actually moved ahead of it. And we introduced a program of registration of our viewers for usage of our VOD platforms. And that has brought us into a world where data is now absolutely at the heart of everything we do. In fact, our approach at Channel 4 has given us a commercial benefit right from the start. So if we fast forward to where TAMs will get to with delivering data in the right way, here is a glimpse of what can happen if you also approach it by collecting your own data. So we've been able to take it from personalizing the viewer experience on the platforms where we can see them and have that data. We've introduced programmatic trading across those platforms. And if you think, is this worth doing, we have more than paid back all the investment to date. And in fact, the incremental revenue that we can now trade from data-enriched buys is in the region of 30% premiums on the kind of buys that we're buying, that our customers were buying before that. It's primarily, though, it's given us a really good understanding across platforms of how our viewers behave, because we have a single sign-on login for four of those key platforms that are significant volume drivers. What we don't have yet, which is what the TAM will deliver, is the way of joining that up with the linear piece. So again, TAM's become, and JIC's become very important in this space. So there are some challenges, and these challenges are common to everyone who's practically in every media now. The main challenge that we faced as soon as we introduced the data play was the challenge of finding the right people. These are new people. They're people like data science teams. Every media company needs them. They typically come from a non-media background as well. That's a good thing, but they have to learn a new language, and we have to learn a little bit of their language in return. Thirdly, there are also many new vendors in this space. So careful selection and careful understanding of who those new vendors are and how they play is really important. And finally, the idea of what direction you choose is quite clear, I think, already that the TV industry is choosing a very similar direction of how we're going to measure cross-device. So very finally, the future is very spiky out there, I'd call it. It gives me an excuse to use this lovely image. But using data is fundamentally at the heart of everything we do in the business, and it's going to maintain its central point there, whether you generate it yourself or you generate it from a TAM. Thanks very much.
Thank you.